Away. And it's a relatively clean start. Leapt off. Look at Gagesh. Got a fantastic drive off the start there. And away he goes. And he's leading, judging around Stegmaier in the green and white car. Already looking to get past now in the pink and white machine with the black top of the airbox. So away has gone Gagesh, which isn't a massive surprise. He had about a half lap advantage over everyone in qualifying. The second and 30, 25 minutes, anything can happen. This is second and third now. And they go through. One to sweep through the S's. You can see how much slower they are. You would ask, why are the F1 cars not as fast as the touring cars? Well, I'm sure we'll get a chance to discuss this during the half hour of the final, or 25 minutes to the final, as they have gone through mainly in order. In fact, they have gone through completely in order. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well done. 1 to 10, straight through. Excellent work, boys. So as of yet, and they are, interestingly, give Teemu now his due. He's not letting Gagesh get away. So Tobias, the German, from Teemu, the German. Come on, Gagesh in the white and pink car, and then swooping around behind him is Teemu now. In third place is Kevin Stegmaier, who have got the same final. Fourth place, a very nicely painted Red Bull machine of Tony Gilmartin. He's just ahead of Christophe Hinault with the pink car. Oh, up and a couple of wheels there went Teemu now, but Gagesh not getting away. Got a very interesting darting look to that Gagesh car. Stegmaier also, he managed to get himself. He had problems at the start of the semi-final. Stegmaier in the white and green car, but after about 4 or 5 laps, things settled down. He managed to get it back up and to win the heat. And I think possibly without those 4 or 5 laps which he's got now, he's now looking to go a bit quicker. But so Stegmaier is a little bit closer, I think, and only by feel, I'd say, to Teemu now than now is to Gagesh in this top 3, this European Championship final here in Tourlaville in France, brought to you by RC Racing TV. I'm Nick Damon on the camera. Oh, Gagesh has made a mistake, and that camera shot will be picked up and up the inside. And I thought now, made a thought there on the buttons and probably thinking about pressing replay record there was Paul Bateman. And we're here thanks to Samba Exhausts and Jeep, who actually got us here physically with the car. And Samba Exhausts, the mildest sound of most of these cars are coming through a Samba exhaust. And thanks, of course, to EFRA, European Federation of Radio Automobiles. That's what makes it all possible to be here. And if you want to know anything about radio control car racing in your country, go to efra.ws and it will all be there. But at the front of the grid in race is still Thomas Gagesh from Teemu now. Stegmaier not up on the pace, but Gagesh lost a little bit of time. Up until, and straight through! Again, got a little bit confused, and now takes the lead. And Gagesh, the hot favourite before this start. Now it's to run down before the straight, and they're going to turn around the Parabolica, aptly named. That, of course, is a Formula 1 name for the Monza circuit, but I think that now is as a surprise as any of us. Gagesh made the mistake here a lap ago and led him through. We'll probably look back at that in a minute, Paul. That's okay.
Yep.
And now lapped already the 10 car of Tony Sellier, but then Gagesh can gap him, and he has a bit. So let's see how it happened, Paul.
Okay.
So Gagesh, he'd already made a mistake taking too much curb in the first bit, and he just washed out. And I think what happened was he took too much curb before that, and his tyres got dirty. He just didn't have the turn he thought he'd have. And so suddenly, Teemu now leads. So first and second are nailed together after 3.5 minutes. They're dropping Stegmaier, so not only are they fighting and racing, but they're also managing to keep to gap Stegmaier in third. But it's all about first and second. They get to the bottom of the corner. They're going through the Samba section. And if anything, Teemu is beginning to pull away a little bit. And this is a surprise. The FTD set by Gagesh was something in the region of 8 or 9 seconds, over 10 minutes faster than anybody. Now creamed it in the Superpole. He just did 1 lap and then gave up because he'd already got the fastest time. Gagesh having major problems at that bottom corner. He's got a major issue. Let's concentrate on Gagesh for a while. I don't know whether he's got a car issue, but he just can't get round that bottom corner. Now, if you look at his car as it comes towards us, those of you who know about racing, there's a very counterintuitive thing, and yeah, he's got problems at the moment. A very counterintuitive thing where he actually is running positive camber on the front wheels. So the front wheels are pointing out rather than in. So the top of the front wheel is further out than the lower part, which obviously on any racing car would normally point in, because you're always trying to get more steering as you go around the corner. With these cars, you're often trying to get less. So now Teemu really has to see what's going to happen. Gagesh needs to put in some good laps. He's having some problems at the bottom of the circuit. Got it right that time. The thing is, it could be brake. He might have a slight brake issue. Could be a slight mistake. Who knows? But whatever happens, he's managed to find himself off by a good 2 seconds very quickly. Now, the thing about this is, if it is merely like a tyre temperature issue, and he hasn't got enough tyre temp into the front, and it is that like a real car here, the real Formula 1 machines, they need to get tyre temperature, get these rubber tyres to work, and they'll have them in tyre warmers up until they start, but then they have to let them cool down the open. There's lapping going on already. He'll be easy to get past that car. Which car is he getting past? That is, he just lapped the 7 machine of Maurizio Borsoni. So Borsoni, who was right up at the front of the semi-final, already lapped in this race. So Gagesh with his strange, to the casual angled wheels, but he's looking, he's Timo now last time round, 19.9, 19.8, and Tobias here 20.8. That's with lapping. So Tobias not having that pace we'd expected to have, but there's 25 minutes, and this is just the first 5.5. So he's now out of the traffic, as is Stegmaier, and Stegmaier was a big winner at that. Stegmaier has gained on Gagesh. Can he now start to drag back to Timo now? Last time he gained, he gained nothing. He lost 200ths of a second. But he has a chance. In these long finals, you can get your head down, you can think about it, you can worry about the fact you've got the basic ground speed. 20.06, 19.9. So Gagesh gains a 10th despite a minor error. Timo's already getting into more traffic. Put a second lap on Tony Selly in a minute. And there is still quite a big split of talent. Due to the attrition in the semi-finals, some of the slower cars managed to come through from the semi-finals. And in fact, Timo did lose quite a bit of time there getting past the 10 of Sellier, who will now know that Gagesh is there. Yeah. Typical things, when you're lapping someone, the first car to lap them often has a harder time because they don't know they're being lapped. And after that, they're very ready for it. And it was in fact a half a second gain. And look at it, suddenly Gagesh's car is starting to work and he's right on Timu's tail. Saying that, he had a poor drive out of the previous corner, but he's gained enough and the gap's come down from 2 seconds. It came down last time to 0.7. I think it's slightly stretched this time. And much in Stegmaier not being lost in third, by the way. He's still there. Only about a second and a half back on these two. And now has made another, and Gagesh made another mistake. Tobias has made another mistake at that bottom end, got his tyres dirty. Now he's got Stegmaier all over. Stegmaier gets past. So we'll stick with the Stegmaier-Gagesh battle. Gagesh had another very awkward lap. He's having huge problems at the back end of the circuit. At this bottom end of the circuit, let's see him around here. This is where his problem's been on 4 separate occasions now. The car washes out. It's obviously very much on a knife edge on his braking and turning, as whether he can get enough grip at the front end. Now leads Stegmaier in second, the Swiss driver, sorry. So that white and green is the Swiss driver Stegmaier. Gagesh now, again, ponderously around that bottom corner. I don't know what he's done wrong. I don't know what he's set up wrong. But what is wrong is he's not able to get around the bottom corner. Let's move forward to Stegmaier. Let's see what he can do in his attempt to catch up with Timo now, because he's not really been dropped by now at any point. Gained a couple of tenths on him last time round. So as these cars come into their windows, Gagesh's window just hasn't appeared so far. It's been opaque the entire time. 16 minutes to go. 9 minutes gone. Stegmaier now, just so you know, behind them it's Tony Gilmartin and Carlos Fabregas, who are the 4th, 5th and 6th. So Stegmaier, that time round, now picked up a 19.7. And Stegmaier went round in 20.1, which is unfortunate. And Carlos Fabregas, one of the stars of the event, with his lovely McLaren painted car, has just gone over the track. So he's had to lost a half a lap, he's down, really a lap down. So the top 3, they haven't broken away, but they are not getting closest. That time round is Timo. He turned to 20.2, Stegmaier 20.4. So good couple of laps for Stegmaier. Behind them, a 19.9 for Tobias Gagesh. So Gagesh, when he's actually got a lap where he's not falling off the bottom of the circuit, just picked up half a second on Stegmaier. I'm sure we go wide now. You'll see behind Stegmaier at the main straight, you'll see there is our leader, and then coming into view at the back, that is Gagesh. So Stegmaier in that sandwich. He's a Swiss man in a German sandwich. Any second now, Stegmaier will be coming up to lap the 9 machine of Robert Jezequel. And Jezequel makes it easy for him.
If you can get that insect off your lens, that'd be great, Harry.
Has Harry heard about the insect on his lens? Is it gone?
I think it's in the top left.
He's not listening to us, he's about Insect Gate.
Oh, it's okay, good. Oh, it's now in the middle. Oh, no.
Blooming insect. Has it got... Oh, that's it. It's waved it. So, coming down the main straight now. And another lapping there as the 10 car gets another lap down to Stegmaier. Kagesh ponderously gets past. The gaps between the two of them are 1.4 seconds and 1.6 seconds. So they've gone equidistant, but not out of battling range. We're sticking with the second man, which is Stegmaier, because he's in the middle of this, literally. He comes around the camera. Ooh, a bit of oversteer there. He came around the cameraman's corner and down the main straight. A sweep around the Parabolica and forward into the start-finish. Oh, there's a plethora of traffic for him to come up to now, including the car that started position 4. So that shows how fast these top 3 were. Stegmaier up against Tony Gilmartin in the Red Bull coloured car. Got that one easily. And next victory will be the 7. Kagesh, as it comes at the moment, with 13 minutes to go. Not quite halfway, but getting close to halfway. Not making the movement forward. But I quite expected Tobias Kagesh to just disappear in the distance and us to have perhaps a battle for second and third. The fact is that Teemu Mao is the man who is not just being this, but leading this confidently. Kevin Stegmaier is the man who's trying to close him down and did that by 2/10 last time to reduce the gap to 1.3. And Tobias Kagesh, well, he's just 2 seconds back and not really gaining. Now, unless that car suddenly comes good in the last second half of the race, which will start in about 10 seconds' time, it could be a long old race for Tobias. Just think about what might have been. It definitely seems to be a handling issue. And my guess, it might even be brakes. He's not getting the thing stopped as much as he wants to. And again, he's just gone very, very slowly around that bottom corner. And that's what's costing him every time. And he's dropped way off Stegmaier now. So 2 and 3 are very close, and Kagesh is not. Kagesh now is 5 seconds off in third. So this battle is now just going to be between Stegmaier and Now. And Stegmaier, as you can see, is visually much, much closer to Teemu Now. Now both of them in the same frame. They come up the straight now, and Stegmaier that time round actually picked up a couple of tenths. Oh, who's upside down? Which car is that? Is that Stegmaier? That could have ended the excitement for the day. So look at that one again. So he comes in. He was all oh, look at that. Had the thing oversteering, was sliding in before he even got there, and then launched it with that. So now has been given a bit of a gift, as has Tobias Kagesh. He's moved into second, but he's 7 seconds off the lead. Stegmaier, who we're with, is third, and he's now 2 seconds back. So temporarily, what was building to quite an exciting event is not living up to that. Let's run a little bit with the leader. We're not seeing much of car number 2, sorry. There he goes down the main straight now, pink and black. That is Teemu Now. The German constantly turning reasonable laps. Kagesh is just not able to find any pace at all. So my guess is that Kagesh will get re-swallowed by Stegmaier quite quickly, because he's got something wrong with his car. If I'm honest. Teemu now a long way ahead. Now is a long way ahead and heading to European Championship. But we still have 10.5 minutes to go. And Teemu now has the same problem again, getting the second part of the lower corner. I don't know what he's done. He's got a tremendous front end issue on that car. Let's get to back to Kagesh, because he's back. Stegmaier's back with him as they go down the main straight. That's car number 1 and car number 3, who are faffing about and being confused by car number 4, who's about to get lapped for the second time, I think. And again, Kagesh got the inside. to get second back. And the 4 of Tony Gilmartin is not involved in this fight. He's coming out to 2 laps down. But you do think that Stegmaier just has to hang around at the back of Gagesh for a while, and second and third will come through. So it's Gagesh, and that's happened again. Gagesh just can't get the car around that bottom corner. No idea what's gone wrong with it. Is it broken? And Stegmaier rushes on, and now he has to take Gilmartin. Now Gilmartin should let him through because he's a lap down. He does. And Gagesh this time goes round and manages to get the car just about round. It's almost like he hasn't got enough. It's almost like there's actually been an error made in the setup and he hasn't actually got enough right-hand steering. He can't turn the car enough right-handed. There he goes round the corner now. Lefts are fine. Now watch this. Will he get round this time? Pulls it. Who's that? So we've got a car stopped up on the other cars. And when he gets a decent lap, it's there. It's 20.2, 20.3, 21, just a little bit slow. But he's just not got this front end he can rely on as he comes round this second section. Ponderous, can hardly make it and just loses so much time. He is running an absolute, what seems to be an absolute ridiculous amount of positive camber when he turns. Which makes me think there's been an adjustment made or a setup change made after the warm-up that has basically completely spoilt the car. Not that Teemu now will care about that because he is winning by a reasonable way. Having a lovely time. So we're still good guess. Let's move forward to Stegmaier for a second, who is to come underneath you now, green and white. He's just lapped the 4th place man, Christoph Ino. So 1, 2 and 3 have lapped 4. Stegmaier gets a little bit of a tank slappery oversteer moment. He carries on going. He is actually, what is happening is Stegmaier is slowly dragging himself back to Teemu now. So despite that big bit of marshalling, Stegmaier is, and he's still got something like 7.5 minutes. He's gradually getting a bit closer. He's got it down to, it's only 3 seconds the gap. And don't forget he got marshalled not so long ago. So Stegmaier could still make a race of this in the last 7.5 minutes. That time round, going to 10th. There's a car between them, which is Carlos Fernandez, but he should let... Sorry, Carlos Fernandez, which is Carlos Fabregas, but he should let them go. So it's Fabregas ahead of him, who's lapped multiple times. That car that just nipped out the bottom of the screen, that is the leader, Teemu now. You see him now coming around the corner. Now he's got some traffic ahead of him, which is the 7 car of Maurizio Borsoni. And Stegmaier, last time round, gained 0.5 of a second. That's half a second to you and me. This time in traffic, Stegmaier's probably going to lose a bit. Yep, lost about 800ths. So Stegmaier needs to get past these 2 cars. And I think ground speed wide, he has got enough to make up what he lost for that roll earlier. Now, he'll be hoping the referees will send him to get out of the way. Now, I'm not quite sure whether... well, that was very aggressive. Stegmaier really has decided, I'm going to go for this. The 1 car, our early favourite of Tobias Gagesh, still in 3rd, but the car's all over the shop. Oh, and what happened there? The Stegmaier got... Did he get touched? I don't know.
I didn't think so, but you can check it out.
I'm wondering now whether he's got to stop go. He did clunk him at the back. And he may have got a warning, be careful. Let's look again quickly. Because he comes round here. He's got up the inside. No, he has got up the inside, and then he gets a tank slap on and put the power down too quickly. Obviously, he has a massive hurry up in his mind at the moment. And he's lost a couple of seconds there for that. Didn't get a stop go for it. It was just got a warning because it was a gentle love tap rather than a thwack. So the problem is there, he lost a couple of seconds. He's only got 5 minutes. He's got to try and make up exactly 4 seconds back now. Teemu has a 4-second lead. And that's a long way to make up in 5 minutes. First lap round, he's made up 2/10, so he needs 20 laps at this rate. I don't think he's got 20 laps to do it in. And the biggest problem is when you're throwing the thing around, you're more likely to make a mistake. So Stegmuller had to recover from two things, recovering from that little accident, and he also had to recover from the roll he had a few laps to go at this point here. And that time round, he gained 7/10 of a second, so that's more like it. Now Stegmuller now has to find a way straight past Carlos Fabregas, which he does. So the Stegmuller car, in open air, probably has 3 or 4 tenths. And that is probably enough to get up to the back of Teemu now before the end of the race. The gap, that time he gained another tenth there, and the gap is now down to 2.9 seconds. So he's gained a bit in the past couple of laps, but you don't know how hard Teemu's pushing. He's been out on his own since about lap 3, Teemu, and Stegmuller carries on going. That time around, and in fact, it's interesting. Teemu now has put the pedal down. He lost 2 tenths anyway, so it's got a bit closer again, but it's noticeable. That was the fastest lap we've seen from Teemu for some time. We're watching Stegmuller as he catches up. He's absolutely throwing that thing in beautifully. He really is doing those top 3 corners, the cameraman turn, the plant pot, and the hairpin on the straight really well. And he gained a further 4 tenths that time. So the lead is going to come down. It's going to be visual soon. We should have them both in the same shop in a couple of laps. It carries on like this. One is exiting cameraman's corner, the other goes in. And there you can see that is the leader swooshing out to the left-hand side. It's going 3 minutes 40 to go. The real question is, has Stegmuller got A, enough time to catch up? And that time he gained another 2 tenths. And B, if he does catch up, has he got enough time actually to get past? Because he's down to the point now where one mistake and that's it. He's got no chance. So he's coming closer and closer and closer. Stegmuller, this time round, look, you see, the car zipped out of your view far later than the previous time. That lap 4 now was a 19.7. Stegmuller goes round in a 19.2. So Stegmuller really is on the absolute ragged edge, and he's actually lost a bit of time there. Take 2 bites at that bottom cherry, so I don't think the gain this lap will be that much, but he's still got 3 minutes to do it on. 3 minutes is 9 laps. So he's got 9 laps to get onto the back end of the Teemu Now car. Teemu that time was a 19.9. Stegmuller with that, what was 19.9 as well, with that little double bite at the cherry at this corner here. And he's backing the thing in, he's going so fast. So Stegmuller absolutely flying now. Visually close to this lap after the lap where he made a small mistake and didn't gain. Can he make it up? He's got 2:40 to get on the back, and then can he get past Teemu Now? Now what's going to happen quite soon is they're going to start they're going to lap Thomas Gagesh, who's got no end of problems. That time round the gain was 3 tenths of a second, and they're both coming into the corner at the same time. You can see the quarry now. The problem is he's got 2 minutes and 22. He's got 7 laps, perhaps 6 laps to do something about it. In fairness, Teemu Now looked quite slow around the bottom corner there. I'm not sure if Now's at 100%. He lost 3 tenths that time. There's now an absolute cornucopia of traffic that's going to cause confusion. 3 cars, Gagesh, and they're trying to get Stegmuller tries to get round. They're all passing everybody, and Stegmuller kind of lost. Now he needs to get past Gagesh. The referees need to get them through as they all come down now. Now's got past them. Gagesh up the inside of Gil Martin. The car in between his leader. Now they're right together. Our leaders are right together with 1 minute and 48 seconds to go. It's been a fantastic comeback from Stegmuller after a roll and a small accident. Does now have the speed. Get on the main street. He's going to burn him on the... Oh, he had to back out. Had to back out because he had the power and still had to say no. And Stegmuller in backing out lost a lot of time. He was side by side and then he knew he didn't have the corner. So he's now got just 1 minute and 27 seconds to get this one through. Stegmuller, what can he do on this one? The gap is back out to something in the region of 20.5, 3.8. Yeah, he lost 8 tenths that time. Stegmuller now has a second go. He's gaining very, very quickly. You can see he's just lost a little time with a kind of a little bit of a swing. He's got 3 laps. He's got this one and 3 more. And as he pushes, he's gone wide. He pushes, he's gone wide. Was that his only chance he's going to get? And is Teemu now going to be able to do this with a controlled run to the end? We are down in the last minute. Stegmuller needs to try and get both in the same frame. Can Stegmuller get himself close enough for another attack as he comes through the Samba section? And again, Now looks so slow sometimes. That car, I think, is straight. We're going to see right back on the end. Oh, he got him! Oh, straight away! Just now, I think now may even have a fuel problem. Stegmuller just took straight past him with 2 laps to go. Teemu has nothing to give. The car has just died on him. So it lasted 24 minutes, but in minute 25, the number 2 car of Teemu now has let him down. And in fact, he stopped. I think he's run out of fuel. My guess would be that what happened there was Teemu now ran out of fuel. So it's now the last lap for Stegmuller. He just needs to go. I'll go as slowly as I could, young man, because you don't want to do 2 laps. And the winner is going to be Kevin Stegmuller, as Timu now, I think, ran out of fuel. And Stegmuller will take the checkered flag now, and he is your new F1 European champion. And he's given us a bit of joy there. And he's going to do he's going to do donuts. Good lad. Good lad. Victory donuts from Stegmuller. That's what we want to see.